Yo, 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 what it do, family? It's Uncle T coming back at you once again with another Tombs Talk. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. It's been a hot minute, but I got a couple stories I wanted to share with y'all. So first and foremost, you never know who you're gonna help. You know, just a smile on your face, just you embodying that light and bringing that presence into the room can make the difference between someone having a good day or a bad day. So here I am, your Uncle T's been going through this crazy divorce. That's another story for another time. But I'm here at the courthouse paying child support, right? So, you know, most people at the courthouse are not really wanting to be there. They're paying fines, things like that. And so the people behind the counter, they're dealing with kind of disgruntled customers all day. So of course, you know, your Uncle T likes to put a smile on his face, be cordial to the person, try to engage, get them to talk, get them to conversate, whatever. Just brighten up their day, right? So this lady, you know, she's pretty nice. Some of the other ones I dealt with are just real stoic, business, you know, they don't really talk much. This lady was engaging, and I was wearing my Tombs Talk t-shirt. For those of y'all who know what I'm talking about, check out the Tombs Talk t-shirt. And if you want to purchase one to help support your Uncle T, go ahead and holla at your uncle. I'll provide that link. Matter of fact, I'll probably throw that link down in the description. But anyway, so I'm wearing my Tombs Talk t-shirt, right? And she obviously notices my last name is Tombs on the paperwork. So she asks, what's that about? And on the Tombs Talk t-shirt, it's got the yin yang. So I just told her about, you know, kind of being a spiritual guide and helping people with their self-sabotaging ways. And man, I think that rings true with a lot of people because we can all really relate to self-sabotaging ways. You know, so many of us deal with that in our personal lives, and then we see it with other people, especially when you want to help someone else and they're stuck in their self-sabotaging ways. It's the worst. So we reflect that back on ourselves and decide, you know, when we want help, when we want to do things, when we want to progress our lives, when we want that spiritual evolution, it's up to us. You know what I'm saying? So this lady took it upon herself, and it's been like a month after the fact, right? So, you know, I see the lady, I wave to her, I'm checking out with a different lady. So she leans over and talks to the lady I'm checking out with, or who's helping me. And she's like, this guy was wearing a t-shirt one day, and that was what started my spiritual awakening. And I was halfway blown away. I was like, what? And the lady was even like, huh? And she was like, yeah, it was his t-shirt and our conversation that sparked my spiritual awakening. And later on that day, you know, it was another coworker who really pushed me towards getting help, or however she put it, you know what I mean? So I was just so taken back that just, you know, it's not like she followed me. I didn't tell her to go watch my YouTube, go on Instagram, this and that. Just a t-shirt, a friendly smile, connection, and just being vulnerable and just talking to a person, allowing for them, their vulnerability to come forth, you know? And so I thought that was a beautiful story, man, about how you never know what can spark another person's spiritual healing. So with that being said, let's get into a second story, which actually happened like a week ago. My buddy asked me, hey, what are those scars on your body? So I'll probably throw a picture here in the video, loop that in. But basically, I got these scars on my body, and he was asking what they're about. Now, some of y'all know, some of y'all don't know, but your Uncle T has dealt with depression for a long time, for a really long time. So, you know, let's backtrack. My mother was never in my life. It was always me and my pops. And when I was a teenager, me and my pops used to go at it. It was a rough time for me as a teenager. And, you know, being the son of a military person, you know, it was always real strict around the house, and, you know, things were tough between me and my pops. Now, fast forward, back in 2009, my pops ended up taking his life after, you know, spending 20 plus years in the military. Reading his journals, I read how he was depressed since a young age. And, you know, that really gave some perspective for my own self. And because I dealt with depression since 15, you know what I mean? So the first time I burned myself, I got some burns on my arm right here, on my chest and on my stomach. But the first time that happened was 15. And the intention actually was to be like a tattoo, right? And I didn't want to cut myself because the blood a little queasy, you know. So I decided in my genius mind that burning was a better idea, right? So, you know, oddly enough, I found comfort in that self-harm. And for those of y'all who resonate, or for those of any of y'all who've been cutters or branders or done any type of self-harm, even if it's taking too many drugs, it's like, you know what you're doing is bad. But for me, it was the physical pain was easier to deal with than the emotional pain. And so that was kind of like, it ended up being an outlet for me, and it ended up being somewhat of a problem, you know, for years. And even still to this day, sometimes that stuff comes up in my head of wanting to do some self-harm, but you know, I've really grown beyond that with all the spiritual work that I've done. And you know, within that spiritual work, I wanted to talk about, like, you know, the shadow work that we have to do. And so for me, a lot of that shadow work helped with things like ayahuasca or psilocybin mushrooms. You know, the plant medicine's really playing an integral part in my personal journey towards healing. And you know, that's what I bring to y'all is the you know, the physical, the spiritual, the mental, all of that combined allows for a holistic transformation. You know what I mean? So yeah, those are just a couple of little stories I wanted to share with y'all, you know, about how you never know how you're gonna help somebody. So, you know, always shine your light regardless of the situation, and try to brighten up somebody's day, because that could really make the difference. And within our own journey towards self-healing, you know, get into the plant medicines. And I'm not even talking specifically about psychedelics, but another one of the mushrooms that really helped me was reishi. And reishi has been completely transformative within my life. It gets rid of malevolent situations and brings about benevolent cycles. So I can't recommend reishi enough. In fact, it is one of my top 3 tonic herbs written in my ebook. You can check out your Uncle T's ebook on the top 3 tonic herbs. Reishi, the queen of medicinal mushrooms; chaga, the king of medicinal mushrooms; and gynostemma, known as the immortality plant, or the miracle tree, things like that. Miracle grass, forgive me. So, you know, just working with some of these plant elements, working with the divine, great spirit, God, whatever you want to call that, working with the higher aspect of yourselves. You know what I mean? So, like your Uncle T is always talking about the triple A, your ancestor, the angels, the ancestors, and the allies. The angels being a higher level of spiritual guidance. Our ancestors being something that has been here on this earth, and specifically within our lineage, and has walked the walks. And a lot of times we're here to help clear and cleanse the ancestral baggage. Like I talked about my pops being depressed since 15. I've been depressed, you know, since 15. So it's an ancestral thing. And it's like, you know, I could have easily taken my life when he had taken his. Luckily, I had a son at the time, and I didn't want to put my son through what I was being put through. You know what I mean? So, and then the allies, whether that be the bird allies, your Uncle T's always seeing hawks, eagles, coyotes, scorpions, different different animal allies, and plant allies like reishi, like ayahuasca, like psilocybin, you know, and the chaga, the gynostemma, some of these plant allies that can really prove as a powerful force within the transformation of your life, just as it did for myself. So anyway, it's your Uncle T coming with a quick little message. You know, keep that smile on your face, keep shining your light, and don't neglect the shadow work that needs to be done in order for our own personal healing and transformation. So anyway, that's just a little bit about your Uncle T. You know, if you guys have dealt with depression, your Uncle T's been there. So holla at me. You know what I mean? We can do some spiritual cleansing. We can do some Reiki. We can do some Tarot. There's different modalities that I like to use in order to help transform your guys' life. So go ahead and holla at your Unc. I'm here to help. Until then, I'm gonna see you guys on the other side. Be well, keep your spirits high, and don't let anybody dim your light. Wholeness, I'm gonna holla at you next time.